Welcome. This is my report. CPU architecture. What is CPU architecture? CPU architecture is the layout of the internals of the CPU, like how the transistors and the other electronics are laid out. Since in today's CPUs, there are over a million transistors on a single water of silicon, it's not possible for humans to see the architecture without some magnifying device. CPU run on a set of instructions to perform mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, and etc. In earlier days, the numbers of instruction required a simple operation were plenty, so some vendors brought out CPUs with a reduced set of instructions to perform operations and called the technology reduced instruction set computing RISC. And obviously, the previous technology was called complex instruction set computing, uh, CISC. RISC was made popular by Sun Microsystems and the Digital Equipment Corp, now merged with Compaq with its Alpha processor. ARM processor architecture. What is ARM processor architecture? The ARM architecture processor is an advanced reduced instruction set computing machine, and it's a 32-bit reduced instruction set computer microcontroller. It was introduced by Akron Computer Organization in 1982-1987. This ARM is a family of microcontroller developed by makers like ST Microelectronics, Motorola, and so on. The ARM architecture comes with total different versions like ARM V1 version 1, ARM version 2, etc., and each one has its own advantage and disadvantage. The ARM Cortex is a complicated microcontroller within the ARM family that has ARM version 7 design. There are three subfamilies within the ARM Cortex families: ARM Cortex AX series, ARM Cortex RX series, ARM Cortex MX series. The ARM architecture components. Arithmetic logic unit. The ALU has a 32-bit inputs. The primary comes from the registered file, whereas the other comes from the shifter. Status registered flag modified by the ALU outputs. Boot multiplier factor. The multiplier factor has a 332-bit inputs, and the inputs returned from the registered file. Barrel shifter. The barrel shifter features a 32-bit input to be shifted. This input is coming back from the registered file, or it might be immediate data. Control unit. For any microprocessor, control unit is the heart of the whole process, and it is responsible for the system operation. So the control unit design is the most important part in the whole design. Unix operating system. What is Unix operating system? The Unix is an operating system. It supports multitasking and multi-user functionality. Unix is most widely used in all forms of computing systems such as desktops, laptops, and servers. On Unix, there is a graphical user interface similar to Windows that support easy navigation and support environment. With GUI, using a Unix-based system is easy, but still one should know that Unix commands for the case where a GUI is not available, such as a telnet session. The top 10 uses of Unix. Number 1. multitasking, a backbone of modern technologies, impactful towards other OS, an invention of Linux, a host of service, command line functionality, text-based process, regular expressions, modularity and reusability, and network protocol. Linux operating system. What is Linux operating system? Linux is the best known and most used open source operating system. As an operating system, Linux is software that sits underneath all of the other software on a computer, receiving requests from those programs and relaying these requests to the computer's hardware. How does Linux differ from other operating systems? In many ways, Linux is similar to the other operating system you may have used before, such as Windows, macOS, formerly OS X, or iOS. Like other operating systems, Linux has a graphical interface and the same types of software you are accustomed to, such as the word processor, photo editors, video editors, and so on. In many cases, software creators may have made a Linux version of the same program you use on the other systems. In short, if you use a computer or other electronic device, you can use Linux. The Linux operating system comprises several different pieces: bootloader, kernel, unit system, daemons, graphical server, desktop environment, and applications. And that's all. Thank you.